Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video on the Flow of Consciousness YouTube channel. A little bit earlier today. It's quite chilly, to be honest, but it's alright. I'm at home in Belgium, actually. And, Belgium is notoriously cold, I think. Well, not necessarily, but whatever. It's summer, but Belgium has their own version of summer sometimes. Now maybe this is also a great opportunity for me to talk a little bit about not forcing things too much, right? Like, we as humans, we want to exert control over our lives. We want to believe that we can steer and take ownership of whatever is unfolding. But there is a certain art to allowing life to flow as it's supposed to flow. This is this idea of Wu Wei, I think. Alan Watts talks a lot about this. And it's simply the idea of letting things unfold the way they are meant to unfold. And this is definitely something that I have difficulties with sometimes, because I want to, force things too much. And there's this great book, Power versus Force. It's by the author of Letting Go. I can't remember who is it from. I want to actually look it up because I hate it when I pronounce authors wrong. Power versus Force. Okay. David R. Hawkins, that's the author. And so the idea of forcing things means resisting, right? And power is more of an kind of like an allowance. It's strength, it's courage to have faith that whatever path you're on right now is the right one for you. And the river of life is going to take you places where you need to go in order for you to actualize, to self-actualize your truest potential. And this is a belief that I have, that I love to share with you guys, because I think it's an empowering belief. It can allow you to relax into whatever is going on in your life right now, instead of trying to force it too much, right? It's a reminder, it's a gentle reminder to myself and to you that allowing the things to naturally flow is going to generate more peace, more grace. You can be more at ease if you can let go of this compulsive need to force things. And it's important to remind ourselves sometimes that you really don't have that much control over what happens in your life. You have a lot of control over your own mindsets, over your own behaviors, over your own intentions. This is something that you have a lot of control over. But what ultimately happens with those intentions, what ultimately happens with the work you put in, that is up to God. And I am not saying God in a Christian type of way, or a Buddhist type of way, or an Islam type of way, right? I'm not talking about a specific God. I'm just more talking about a cosmic force almost, which we don't know enough about to make accurate claims whether it exists or not. So I prefer to stay in a state of not knowing, agnostic, right? Now, this idea of Wu Wei and releasing the resistance is it's a good philosophy of life, right? It's like when you see a dancer on stage performing, when they reach a level of mastery, they move with life. They dance with life. Their movements are, there is no resistance there. They are not trying to force their dance. No, they let the dance unfold. And this is a spectacle to be, it will blow you away if you see a performance like that. And you will know it when you see it. The same thing, pianist playing the music. At first he needs to practice. So it's more like forcing, forcing the time, forcing the different finger positions, etc. But after a while, the pianist can start to release this forcing attitude, because it requires a little bit of forcing sometimes. That's okay. You can sometimes force certain things, but at another stage, a new stage, a further development, you have to release this forcing a little bit and allow it to naturally flow. And that's when the real magic happens, right? That's when the real magic happens. So I just wanted to share this idea with you so you can remind yourself to release your resistance a little bit more today. Have faith that the cosmic force, the universe, God, whatever it may be, whatever you believe in, that it will unfold the way it's supposed to unfold. And that the more you try to resist it, the more you try to contain it, the more you try to force it, the more suffering you will experience. There is this beautiful story or metaphor, I don't know where I heard it, but imagine a river, a very strong, powerful river, and it's flowing and it's making all these natural noises, and you can feel the power and the strength, but it's embedded in nature. There's trees, rocks. It's a beautiful, wild, natural river that is a sight to be seen, right? It's a sight to be amazed by. Now, if you try to either capture this river or to stop it from flowing, if you try to stop it from flowing, you will have to exert an enormous amount of energy to stop it from flowing. You will have to build a dam, and it has to be super, super strong. And if you're trying to do it yourself, it will just take you, and you will not even be able to stop it, right? But so it requires an enormous amount of energy to stop it from flowing. So that is kind of like the resistance, right? It requires a lot of our energy to resist the natural flow of life. Then the second thing is, if you try to capture or contain the river, it's impossible. Because if you take a bucket and you scoop water out of the river, you take it with you, you now have still water. It's not moving anymore. It's not flowing anymore. So it loses its essence if you try to fixate it, if you try to capture it, because it is an inherently moving entity, right? So instead of trying to capture it, attaching too much to it, trying to take it with you home, I want to bring the river with me. No, be there, allow it to flow, and enjoy the flow of the water, enjoy the sights, the sounds, immerse yourself in the experience, be present with it, and know that it's going to be all right. This is how it's supposed to be. The river is supposed to flow. And sometimes maybe there can be a natural disaster which causes the river to meander somewhere else, or maybe it meanders into many different directions, but this is again a natural consequence of whatever is happening in that very moment. So try to release a little bit of the resistance today. Try to force things a little bit less. If you are recovering from a painful situation, losing a loved one, if you had a difficult time dealing with your job, or whatever thing you're struggling with right now, know that you will be okay. Know that life will take care of you. Know that the natural rhythm, the natural flow is going to guide you towards wherever you need to go in order for you to actualize your truest potential. It is going to teach you lessons. It is going to introduce you to new situations, new environments, new people. Be curious, stay open, and let go of resistance a little bit more today. Try to force things a little bit less. That's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.